On this day in 1994, jurgen Klinsmann signs for Tottenham Hotspur. Jurgen Klinsmann was an instant success at Tottenham Hotspur despite his reputation for being something of a diver to begin with. I have a question for you. Is there a diving school in London? It was jurgen Klinsmann's first press conference following his move to Tottenham from Monaco in 1994. His arrival at White Hart Lane was met with derision, partly because he was a member of the West Germany squad that knocked England out of the 1990 World Cup at the semi-final stage and has had developed a reputation as a diver. Klinsmann infamously went to ground a little easier than expected in the final against Argentina, which resulted in Pedro Monzon's sending off. Of course, in 1990, Monzon's Shanghai challenge on the German was considered fair. In the modern game, it's unlikely the Argentine's challenge would have been met with outcry and the red card deserved. Nevertheless, Klinsmann was criticized from the moment he stepped off the plane in England to sign for Spurs. Andrew Anthony even penned an article for The Guardian titled "Why I Hate Jurgen Klinsmann" before the season had started. A couple of months later, however, and the tone in the country had changed completely, and for the better too. "Why I Love Jurgen Klinsmann" was the headline for a Guardian piece written by Anthony 6 weeks into the 199,495 campaign. Klinsmann quickly won over the hearts of football fans for his sense of humor and charm. The striker was not the archetypal, cold-hearted German they came to expect, but rather an incredibly likable man and a fine goal-scorer to match. Klinsmann still holds the record for the most Premier League goals scored by a German, having notched 29 times across 2 spells with Spurs. However, it was his famous celebration after netting his first goal in England that endeared himself to supporters across the country, and the idea for the decision to dive after scoring came from teammate and England international Teddy Sheringham. "Teddy advised me to do a dive after scoring my first goal, and that kind of turned everything around. The joke made me popular in England, but I was also lucky at that time because I was scoring the goals," Klinsmann said in a 2004 interview with 442. Of course, in the same interview, he insisted he was not a diver, but the decision to celebrate the way he did certainly helped sway any doubters and critics. He was the lovable German in North London, and his goals meant supporters saw the dive on a regular basis. Klinsmann bagged 7 goals in his opening 6 Premier League appearances for Spurs, including 5 in August, that helped him land his one and only Player of the Month award in England's top-tier. A further 10 assists to add to his 20 league goals in his solitary full Premier League campaign ensured Spurs finished 7th as Klinsmann won the FWA Footballer of the Year, while his performances were enough to earn him a place in the PFA Team of the Year alongside Chris Sutton and Alan Shearer, who had fired Blackburn Rovers to their solitary Premier League title. Klinsmann did his reputation no harm by returning for the second half of the 199,798 season, and, with Spurs in peril and close to relegation, his 9 goals in 15 appearances helped them keep their head above water. Spurs ended the season on a 5-match unbeaten run, which included wins over Newcastle and Wimbledon, the latter a predictably memorable one for those close to the club. Spurs needed to win in order to effectively confirm their place in England's top flight and were 4 minutes from heading in at the interval 21 down. Klinsmann drew Spurs level just before halftime, before adding his second, third and fourth goals in a stunning 6-minute second-half spell for Christian Gross' side. He netted in his final ever club appearance a 11 draw with Southampton before retiring from playing in the summer of 1998, with his legendary status secure with Tottenham. However, it was his initial move to North London in 1994 that turned heads and paved the way for foreign players to both move to England and succeed in the physical rigors of the Premier League. While he spent just 1 full season with Spurs before a switch to Bayern Munich in 1995, he remains a cult hero among fans on the back of his surprise arrival from Monaco for a then princely £2 million. Indeed, 23 years after his move to Spurs, he remains one of the Premier League's greatest ever foreign imports.